Somebody has to submit. It's a Christmas show, for God's sake.
Matu, you've been on for like 1 minute and it's already oddly sexual.
I thought I'm gonna come to Liquid and we're gonna make things great again, you know, like the America style great, but like no political, you know, whatever.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
because he was spectating the game again.
He was spectating.
Spectator.
I mean, it was like, it's so absurd.
It's peak performance and entertainment.
Peak cinema.
This is what the spirit of the international is about.
For this chapter, we brought back Aiden and Mickey, and now also joining us is Matu. Hey Matu, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
Good. Are you excited to talk about this year, which is 2022?
It's a really chaotic year.
Yeah.
Do you remember it that way?
Oh, it's me? Yeah. I thought I was just invited here to sit on the couch. But yeah, I actually, it's been such a long time that I barely remember anything.
Well, let me refresh your memory. Matu, why did you join a team that did not qualify for TI after you yourself came third? On paper, that does not make sense. No offense, guys.
Yeah, of course. I mean, people didn't believe in these guys, but Blitz kind of talked me into it. Also, I made, like, when Victor, CEO of Liquid, signed this team, like the original team of Koikwa and I can't remember exactly who you guys were, but he was asking me for an opinion, and I said, like, I see potential in these guys. In 3-4 years, I could see them win TI. And by the time I joined, I think I was just 2 years off. It's like kind of sad, but what can you do? Sometimes it happens that way. So I really had faith in them, even though, like, surely results-wise, it wasn't impressive. It was pretty bad, in fact, but like, still, like, I saw the potential.
Okay, well then talk us through it, because it wasn't just you joining, it was also Zai joining. Both of you joined from Team Secret at the time. Different times. Did you know that Zai was in talks with Liquid as well?
Yeah, I knew he was joining as well.
Yeah.
Like before my talks even happened. So that also made it easier for me, because I had a lot of faith in Zai and what he can do and his ideas of the game. So it wasn't so foreign that I just joined a team that I don't know anyone really. So it worked out that way. And he was just joking that I just never leave him alone. I just follow him anywhere he goes. Which
you did.
I did, yeah. And it kind of worked out. I wish I could have took Nisha with me as well. Oh, sad.
It took another year for...
Yeah.
You're missing out, bro.
I mean, the important story about this couch specifically in that time is that you moved Mickey from carry to mid for that period. And Aiden, I have to ask you, what was it like supporting Mickey as it was to support Matu in the safe lane?
I mean, we were just talking about it, like, backstage or whatever. And it was real rough, because looking back at it, I had a very bad hero pool for my position and for the meta and for the time. Or just in general, like, the heroes that I thought I was, like, really good at, they didn't really make much sense. But having, like, Mickey play carry had kind of, like, masked a lot of it, because he would just kind of make up for, like, what these heroes were lacking early on in the game, and then I could just, like, play them freely. So when Matu came on, he wanted, like, a normal 5, you know, like, he'd been playing with Puppy, he had certain expectations of what a 5 should do, and my heroes just could not, by any means, like, accomplish these things for him. So I had to, like, kind of learn Dota again and play it in a more traditional way, I guess. Mm-hmm. So for me, that was probably, like, the biggest difference between the two carries. I remember I thought, like, Matu was a complete psychopath. Like, first creep wave, he would just be 0 resources. And I'm like Oracle, you know, like, I'm chilling for level 3, you know, I'm just like, we're gonna big chill, and this guy's like playing Nakes, he's just like hitting them. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're hitting them. And then a lot of our lanes early on were quite tough. I know he played like Luna and Razor, and he would like roam at level 4. And there were no gates at the time, so, you know, this is like your Luna's running mid at level 4. But I had played with Mickey mid for many, many, many years, and I had a lot of faith in him mid. That part I had like no doubts about. So
yeah, because Mickey, already in Han, I believe you played mid as well, right? And you went carry and then back to mid. How was the transition for you?
It was quite easy, to be honest. I think I just needed some time and, like, get some knowledge about the role again. It was quite natural and easy.
Did the mid role change a lot while you were, away on safe lane?
I think not really. I think I just had to adapt to some timings and like runes and that change and whatnot, and it was quite easy for me.
I guess I'm hearing from Matu that, Blitz was the one that talked you into the team. Is there like a discussion with Mickey involved at all saying like, hey, if we get Matu, you're going to move roles again? Or is it like, okay, we got Matu, dude, suck it up? Or like...
I think I was very motivated to play mid because, I'm getting Matu as carry, great. And I was always, in my mind, a mid player. I just kind of played carry because I think Max wasn't that great of a carry player. No offense, no flame. So I had to kind of make way for him, and that's why I ended up playing carry.
Just little flame.
Just little flame.
You can say he's bad.
He's kind of bad carry. But he's great mid, just not carry.
All right, and Aiden, you're saying it took a little while for you to adjust to Matu as carry. Matu, do you feel like you needed time to adjust to continue doing what you did in Team Secret to doing it in Team Liquid? Was that an adjustment for you that you had to adapt for?
I mean, it's always when you play with a different player, it's like different styles and you try to find like the middle road. I just felt like our middle road was not enough, and like somebody has to submit, when you're playing. It's like, it's either the other guy's way or like the combined way of the other guys. So, I thought like my way is better. So we're gonna do my way, because like I just had up to that point I played so many years as a professional. I just felt like this was the way to play this game, and I felt strongly about it, and I just wanted to be that way. I also gave him a lot of room, to be honest. I didn't force him like complete, like it was not complete submission.
My safe lane.
I'm sorry.
I want you to know that all of this is very non-verbal. our submitting or not submitting, this was like, for you to read based on the motions of the ocean.
Was that your perspective as well, that he gave you a lot of space?
Sure.
Where are we going? It's a Christmas show, for God's sake.
Matu, you've been on for like 1 minute and it's already oddly sexual.
Well, just to take a slight detour then from that, I say slight detour, but it's still pertaining both of you, because Insania, you were the captain for a long time of Team Liquid, the drafter for the team, the one
Sure.
at the buttons. And somewhere during the year, and personally I don't know exactly when, that changed. And it was Matu clicking the buttons.
So we had a really rough year, I would say. Like, we had good online results, and then we go to LAN and we just like be horrible. And towards the end of the year, I think like, at least the way I remember it, the team was very despair. I think we kind of were starting to realize that we might not make TI. I think my impression at least was that like Zai was like really sad about it, or he was like, what have I done? Why did I come to this team? Like we're ruining Zai's career. And then we had played some scrims before, I think it was the TI qualifiers, and Zai was like, hey, can I draft? I was like, yeah, feel free, like anything, like whatever works. So Zai drafts like, I think 2 or 3 scrims, and then Matu's like, give me the drafter, I'll show you how it's done. And then Matu drafts, and I remember from the first game he did it, I thought immediately like, it was very easy to play the game after he had picked the heroes. Like, there didn't need to be anything said. It was just like, you look at the heroes, and you understand immediately like what you're supposed to do.
That's
it was
the plan.
very, very clear. Yeah. And I hadn't really felt that way previously. So then the next day we came down, I was like, Matu, you go draft again. And then he drafted again. And then I think after like the second day, I told him, I think let's just you draft for the qualifiers. And he was like, okay. I'm like, all right, nice. So then Matu drafts for the TI qualifiers. And I think we get 3rd.
Yes, you
Lose
did.
to Secret and Entity. And that was like enough for us to qualify to the last chance qualifiers that they were doing that year. It's like a wild card thing.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I was like, I think everybody else was kind of sad because we didn't qualify to TI. But I remember I was thinking like, this kind of worked out, like we have another chance.
Yeah, because just to recap that year, it was pretty bad, and the results did kind of lag behind. Mika, how are you feeling about the team at that time? Because that would have been the second year in a row that you guys were struggling.
I mean, obviously I was kind of down, but I think I was so focused on like trying to get used to my roles. I didn't really think much. I just like wanted to focus on my part and just keep doing what I do, try to figure out the role. And eventually the team clicked and we clicked, and everything felt so smooth and nice to play.
Do you remember the change in drafting styles also the way that Aiden remembers it?
This is I don't remember at all.
No,
I mean,
you're like,
this was
someone's clicking the buttons
I'm just
and I'm
you
fine.
know telling what I want to play, and then they pick it for me.
I mean, I guess
Nice.
my question would be, so Matu, you said the dynamic between you and Aiden in the safe lane, somebody has to submit eventually, and you said you liked the way you played the game and you wanted to continue playing it that way. Do you feel like it was the same feeling for the overall team? Like when you are now drafting, you're like, I think I see a better way to visualize the game, and like I want it to be that way, or like what played a role in your like idea to just try drafting basically for the team?
I don't really know. It's not anything complicated as in like I think my thing is better. At the time I remember very like clearly that I just thought we're bad at playing Dota. Like I thought we don't know how to play Dota, and I was like, how can I pick just like the easiest strategy ever, you know? And I just did that. I just thought like we need to play easy heroes, and then just went with it. It was literally every game it was just 5 heroes that are a ball, and if that ball doesn't win the game, we lose. But it's like, it's pretty good for noobs. Like this strat works for people that don't know how to play Dota. So we got into the TI. It was like, I remember I was like frustrated and angry and all these emotions about it. I was like, fuck it. Like we're just gonna pick the dumbest strategies ever and like pick good heroes for meta, and otherwise just easy game. It worked out. Surprisingly.
It did do very well. Before we get to the TI run, there's 2 points still on the touch upon, because was there any pressure at this point? Again, it wasn't going well. Aiden, did you feel any pressure coming from the organization Team Liquid to do well, to make it to TI?
If I'm honest, I don't think I've thought about it
Okay.
once. That Liquid, like in that. I mean, obviously, like I understand that they want to get to TI and everything leads up to it, but I've never really felt like I have that kind of relationship with Liquid, where it's like any
Perform or else type of
Yeah,
thing,
no like external pressure in that way. Maybe like there's it in the back of your mind, but I didn't. Bigger problems at the time, like trying to make the team come together.
No, that is good news. And then, Matu, I'm very curious, because at what point did you know that year was going to be your last?
I
Did you
knew it
already
when I signed the contract.
You already knew, like, I'm gonna do one
the
more
year
year.
before, I told them like, they asked me to sign a 2-year contract, and I was like, no, because I'm done after this year. It was very clear, and obviously I was a little pressured. I wasn't pressured because like my career is gonna end up like no TI or whatever, like bad. Who cares, Like I had a great journey during all these years, and like it's more about the journey and than the outcome itself. So I was. In that regard, I wasn't actually pressured. But for Liquid, I was a little pressured, because like I thought I'm gonna come to Liquid and we're gonna make things great again, like the America style great. But like no political, whatever. Okay.
Good attempt there.
What is every
Nice save,
time
nice
it
save.
ends up like disaster when I open my mouth. Anyway, yeah.
You were just hoping that things would you join the team and you'll set things on the right track again. That was your goal.
Pretty much. you could put it that way, but I prefer the other one. Okay. Yeah, of course. It's like I come to Liquid, they pay me a high salary. I come as a high-profile player, and I come there and like apparently we don't make TI, so of course I was like a little like, damn, this is not how we it didn't work out quite the way I was thinking about it, and I would have felt sad in that regard, but I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah,
it was very close.
It was very close.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to dive into the TI run.
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, you mentioned you guys made it to the last chance qualifier. There were 12 teams, and 2 teams make it out of the 12, and you guys got knocked down into the lower bracket by VP. And then you had to proceed to win 3 series in a row in order to qualify. What was that? Where were you guys at mentally during that time?
I don't quite remember.
You
I
guys-
just remember we lost to one game to one of the China teams, and the room was
Vici.
dead silent for like 15 minutes till draft start.
Yeah, we played
And
against
I don't know what
Vici.
happened. We just started drafting. Nobody said anything, and we just, I don't know. We just played. It was so weird.
When was this?
That was the last chance qualifiers. So we
Yeah.
lost to VP, which was like the Ramses GPK.
Or to lower bracket?
Yeah.
Dropped to lower.
Mm.
I think first round we had to play Extreme, if I'm not wrong.
That's
and we
true.
2-0'd them.
Yep.
Extreme at the time. I don't remember the roster at all. But then we had to play Vici. And Vici, at this point, they had played Morphling with a 100% win rate in like 13 games or something. So everyone was like, oh, this Poyoyo Morphling is like unbeatable. And Morphling was like one of the best heroes. I remember from our boot camp, we thought like Morph is like really, really strong. It was Morph and SF. And we didn't really play either of them. And then there was like discussions about, in the room at least, should we ban the Morph, should we not ban the Morph? And I think we played them and lost game 1. And then game 2 we decided we're going to give them Morph, which they had not lost with up until then. I don't know, you probably should remember this better than me.
I like
You don't.
just keep
Yeah.
talking because I don't remember. I picked some heroes, but it worked
I
out.
just remember it was, yeah, it worked out. But that second game against Vici, I remember before it, like Mika said, it was like the most tense atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because it was like, now we're truly on the verge of not making it. And then we were in the thick of it, but we got ourselves out.
Yeah, because it was also playing from hotel rooms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that the atmosphere and the vibe in the whole hotel was basically as you're describing it, because all these teams, it's the last chance. It's pretty intense. How do you snap out of that? Did you guys just win a game and that was it?
I think we just won game 2, and then life goes on. Because
That's how it works.
I still remember the room was like dead silent. Like it was, I've never like felt this like intense feeling before. It was
And did it
quite
did it disappear
overwhelming.
during game 2 or the
I
second
think
you
it
won game 2?
disappeared the moment we played the game. Yeah. 'Cause I think we
Oh,
got
okay.
like first blood and like 4 bounties or something. I don't remember exactly, but
I mean, usually I feel like the intent, like that feeling, how tense it is, usually goes away after like laning phase. Or if like lanes go well, usually you feel quite good.
And this was also it was the first TI that had a last chance qualifier, but also the first TI that had the setup of a first part, a break, and then the last part. I wanna talk a bit, because you do end up winning the winning second place last chance qualifiers. Is that relief or happiness once you do qualify to the actual international?
That was good.
I think it was relief for us
Yeah?
because we knew we were a good team. We just needed to get there,
Yeah.
and then we'll cook.
Yeah, I felt like we already like got a lot of experience right before TI, so it was like it was imba. It was like we got to like play a small TI before the actual TI, so we were a lot more mentally and like game-wise prepared for the actual events than the other teams that are gonna come there just kind of like cold. They just start playing the tournament, and we've been there like for a long time already, like backs against the wall type of thing. So it was nice.
You have time to like adapt to the stress and like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I had a lot of confidence too. So
Yeah, when like
Yeah.
after the last chance qualifiers, I knew like I thought group stage at like TI was gonna be the easiest thing in my life. But to answer your guys' question from earlier, for me the best memory to describe our feeling was, I think Zai. I mean, I don't know, but I think he was crying on the balcony of our like room because he was so relieved and happy that we just made it to TI, and I think that was like probably throughout all the years that we played with him, the happiest I've ever seen him, like in a moment, or just like, you could feel how glad he was that we just like made it through.
Yeah.
And he had the Sharingan at the time. You remember his eye was like all red
Oh yeah.
already. He had like some eye infection or something, so his eye was all red, and then he was just, yeah,
But good memories.
good. I mean, yes,
Yes.
towards the end for sure, good memories.
Yeah, an absolute high. Come into the main tournament of TI. Everything goes smooth, I think.
I mean, group stage was very, very good. I think EG at the time were playing extremely well. I think they hadn't lost a single game until they played us. And then we also had Jerax come to our team, who had been on EG earlier that year. And he had like every single piece of tech that you could have on this team downloaded. I think he's never been more motivated to win a series since like TI 8 or 9, because he wanted to win really badly. So he just told us like they're gonna make this move. I remember very, very clearly. He told like me and Boxy, this is where the wards are gonna be. This is the moves they're gonna make, and it was like a script. Like when I was playing the game, I was like, I already know what's gonna happen. Like crit leaves my lane, I know where the ward is going. I just go there and put a sentry, and there it is. It's like, oh, this minute, oh, crit's gonna do this. Okay, oh, there's crit. He's doing that. Everything just made perfect sense. So I know we beat them. I think that was like their only loss in the group stage. I think we had a few more, and then we ended up second, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, because you did start out in the upper bracket.
Yeah, and then I was thinking like, you know, maybe you had a bit of relief, or a lot in the case of Zai when you guys made it to TI from the last chance, but then you end up losing the first series of the upper bracket at the main TI, and so you're now like starting another lower bracket run. Did it kind of have the same like here we go again kind of vibes, or what was this one any less despair or different than the last chance qualifier lower bracket run when you guys were starting off?
Well, I think it felt easier in some ways. I think like the first playoff game we just choked really hard. We didn't play well for whatever reason. I don't exactly know. Then I think like the lower brackets games for some reason they felt easier to play for our team. I don't know if it just like, I mean it's a new thing. We started in like the playoffs of the international. It's like scary, and then like when you get used to it, you play a series, you feel like it's kind of normal now, and you play normal, I guess. I don't know how you guys felt, but I felt like we played really bad in the first,
No, I remember you said
series.
it too.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was sad for a moment.
I mean, we played Aster, and I think we didn't, I mean, at least I didn't think like they were that good. And then we got smashed 2-0, sent to the lower bracket immediately. And we had to play like Entity or something. And I think Entity at the time were quite underrated team. Like they had some good stuff cooking. I think it was like Pure was on that roster.
They were
and
playing some punch carries and
they're
stuff.
like, yeah, they were playing like
Yeah.
pretty toxic heroes. And I think that series was actually quite good, with the exception of maybe offlane Toby. Like I think he played like Silencer
Oh
offlane.
shame, offlane Toby.
He's,
This is
He-
a
he's
good,
pulse fight-
this
he's
is a
pulse
good
fight Toby
feeling
now.
Christmas stream or
Sorry,
video or whatever. Stop.
Okay, let's redo that bit. Entity had some really good ideas, and they were like kind of cooking. And offlane Toby had like the Silencer that was really hype.
You
Am I doing it poorly? You want to do it?
you don't have to single him out. That's
Okay.
too mean.
Okay.
It did turn out a
But when I
2-1. It
mentioned
was a
Pure, it's
close
good.
series. We
Pure
can
is
just say
good.
that.
Yeah, with a 50-minute game 3, so
Yeah.
like that was definitely a close series. And then
But the game was game 3 the next game.
Game 3 was I remember Boxy like
don't-
cutting some wave and then like charging. I don't know. Boxy was like crazy that game. He was unreal. But
I don't remember
No,
any.
you guys don't remember.
No.
There was at least, I think it was game 3 against Entity. I think we are doing quite poorly overall, and like it's looking grim. And Matu's playing Nyx, and he's just like, you know, doing his thing, and we're just like getting owned. Like the four of us are just getting owned. If I remember it, this might be the wrong game, but I think it's this one.
No, I think
And then at some point, Matu just pulls up to a fight that is like looking horrible, and he like single-handedly wins the fight for us. And I think I probably died immediately because I remember this very clearly. So I was probably spectating this team fight.
You're spectating so many great moments in that TI. It's like, I remember this because I was spectating you. I was
Hello?
dead and I was spectating.
I remember this one. This one I remember. And this Nyx was, he was owning this team fight.
That one.
And then we like came back.
It's good to hear.
So flaming offlane Toby is like a no-go, but flaming me is like completely fine.
Of course.
That's crazy.
I mean, it was a crazy TI. You guys also were able to 2-0 OG. I want to get to the final weekend of the first part of that TI before making it to the next weekend, because there is one series in particular where you guys are playing against Thunder Awaken. I'm assuming that series will be very fresh in your memories as well. $1 million Infest, Matu, if you remember that one.
Pretty cringe. The
What do you mean,
$1
pretty?
million Infest.
It was
Yeah, I guess.
literally 1 HP Pango.
Not for me though. I didn't see $1 million from that play. Where's my commission?
That's called being in a team.
Terrible name, in my opinion. But it was a good moment though.
It was a great
Epic.
moment.
It was epic.
I just like, if this moment goes any other way, we lose that game. It's a little unreal. You don't even realize it in the moment that that just happened.
Yeah.
You just play the game, and the killing the throne wasn't even that close in the moment, but the moments leading up to it was very, very close. So
I think the sequence before it was like even more like insane. Like,
yeah.
because I think Enigma blinked in and Matu like first hit bashed him. And then,
Yes.
and then Matu didn't realize he had buyback, so Aiden had to like scream
I'm
it or
like,
something.
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
because
like,
he was
"You have
spectating the
buyback."
game again. Spectator.
I mean,
like, it's so absurd.
I mean, this one was real. Do you know this fight? They're like pushing our base, and I'm like, they put a ward in our base, and they have pudge. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna de-ward it. Boxy just forced me after I hit the ward. I went up to the ward, I hit it once, and then like after I hit it, Boxy's like, I don't have force stop. And I'm like- that's why I was spectating that team fight.
It was unreal too. I was dead, and why I got the gold for buyback was I got assist gold
Yeah.
from a kill.
Wow.
That too was, if that
The
kill
thing
didn't
that,
happen,
like, yellow-
I would have been just dead, and game would have been over. It's like, what are like all these like things that happen prior to that 1 HP Pango getting infested, and killing the throne is, it's peak performance and entertainment. This is what the spirit of the international is about.
You should consider talent work. Doing great here.
No.
But it was, I mean, that series must have been so stressful. Was it just that after the series was done, was it just, okay, great, we won that one, on to the next?
Didn't we have like a 1 week break
You
after?
did have a 1 week break, yes.
I don't remember.
I think we just felt great
felt
overall.
great,
We're
yeah.
just vibing, playing
I
some
mean,
games, and
I remember
fun,
you
fair.
did say winning that series at the time. You said felt better than winning TSL.
It did.
You
That
did say
was-
this immediately afterwards.
It was just satisfying.
Yeah.
It's unreal feeling, like
Yeah.
how it all went down. Like even like the games before that with Tundra Awakened, it was like throws to other way, and it was
Yeah,
like-
the whole reason you guys were game down was the one range creep or one melee creep that kept walking because someone's tiny didn't clear the entire wave, only cleared like, everybody bought one creep, and that one creep removed backdoor protection. And
So game on, I think we had Leshia on Mickey, and I think we
Yeah.
were doing really, really well, and then we like kind of threw the game. And I remember between the games at least, like we went outside and we were, a little bit of game on against Vici, and then I remember just feeling like after game on, I was like, we're gonna cook them. We're like, because we had also played OG the morning. Like you play 2 series in one day, the chances of like throws are very high for the second series. But yeah.
very true. It was quite the run, coming top 3 in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could talk about that run for an entire 2 hours, but at the end of the day, you mentioned it during that series alone, just how many stars had to align for you guys to end up getting third. Is that something you guys have ever like reflected on since then? Was it like, how much was the rumination period, like after TI, like?
I don't know. I feel very cold about it, to be honest. I just feel like how my brain works is like you have like odds of winning, and then you have odds of losing. The way you win is like, it's kind of irrelevant to like the way, like it could have been easier too. I don't know how to describe it this well for you, but it's like that itself, in the end, it's gonna be a win or a lose, regardless how you got there. So it was like getting there, it wasn't really like, it didn't feel that unreal. It was like I was kind of expecting it, to be honest. It's just the way it happened was very epic in itself. So it's like, oh, well, win, lose. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win.
It always, most of the time, ends with the loss, in this case, to your former org, Matu, to Team Secret. Was that an extra bitter pill to swallow that time?
All I can say is I will never forgive Nisha.
Okay. Because top 3 at that TI, obviously great result. Not the best result, and still a long road to go. But for you, Matu, I mean, that was your final moment as a professional player. Do you look back on it fondly, even if Nisha took that series from you?
A little bit. I was like, I already said, I'm not too much of like the end result type oriented person, but the moment itself, like for sure, like having like the whole arena chanting your nickname after you lost when you're leaving the arena was like, I will never forget this moment. It's like such a rare occasion that they're actually singling out a player that they're chanting for. So it was very cool. Probably cooler than winning TI itself on 2017. This moment is like, damn, it's like people really enjoyed and cared about what I actually did in the space. So it was very cool.
Fitting into a fantastic journey.
Yeah, it's like very memorable too, you know. I had to go out with a bang.
You really did. That run was phenomenal. And I know we could talk about it for 2 hours, but we are not. We are going to move on because the story of Team Liquid doesn't end that. Story of Matu does on Team Liquid for that one. But we are moving on to chapter 4.